Hey guys, Tony here. I'm at my good friend Leo's place where he's kindly invited me to do a full review on his new JVC NZ800. Now, anyone that's followed my channel will actually know Leo's room, and I will leave a link in the cards up above to Leo's room so that you can check it out after this video. But Leo has a lot of experience with JVC, and he's had the NX7, he's had the NZ8, and now the NZ800. So what we thought we'd do is we'd go through, talk a little bit about each of those projectors, comparing them in the end to the NZ800. So guys, we're going to share a full calibration report of this projector so that you can see what the light output is as well as the contrast, because that's the big one that everyone wants to know with JVC. And guys, make sure that you subscribe, like the video. This isn't a sponsored video by JVC. This is just something that we decided that we'd do as we're both fans of JVC. So guys, again, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. So Leo, we spoke about the JVC NX7, and that was my first exposure to JVC was in this room. Yeah. And I remember seeing the picture and I was blown away by the black levels. So why don't you tell us about your experience with the NX7?
Yeah, obviously, as you know, Tony, when you first came around here to do a room tour of my room, I had the NX7, which was an absolute amazing projector. I bought the NX7 because of the amazing black levels. In my room, obviously, on a 135-inch screen, I got about 55 nits, and that's mainly because I have a woven material screen. I never felt like I suffered on not having enough brightness. And the contrast was about, after calibration, about 24,000 to 1, which is obviously very
huge. 24,000 to 1 contrast.
And it was absolutely amazing to calibrate. So I was very happy with that unit. Yeah.
And then, of course, the NZ8 came out and you decided to upgrade to the NZ8.
Yeah, so I had a few problems with my NX7, and then I worked with JVC and I was able to get the NZ8. So NZ8 was amazing because obviously the additional light output, it was 2,500 lumens. After calibration, I would say about 2,200 were left. That gave me a huge boost in brightness. So I was getting about 110 nits on my screen.
That's
so
a lot.
Major improvement.
It's huge.
And from a contrast perspective, it was really good as well. It was about 29,000 to 1.
Wow.
That is iris fully open.
Right.
No tricks, no nothing.
Sure.
So absolutely incredible, yeah.
Yeah. So then, of course, we fast forward to now, and we won't talk about Leah's obsession with perfection, but we now have behind us, you can see up there, the NZ800. It is ironic because all three projectors look identical.
They do, they do.
So what's the biggest thing that you can say between the NZ8 and the NZ800?
Again, very fortunate to have the NZ800 here. Again, a little bit of a backstory to that, but we don't have to talk about that right now. But yeah, super happy to have it in my room. I initially thought when they brought out the new line, won't be much of an upgrade. Little did I know, obviously a little bit an increase in lumens, about 200 on top of the NZ8, which was 2,500 to 2,700. But because they developed a new chip design, I think it's version 3, I think they call it, from the DLA chips.
Sure.
It gave a huge jump in contrast. So I measured on this unit without any tricks, anything, after calibration, about 37,000 to 1. So if we went from 29,000 to 37,000 to 1, so a huge jump. Brightness was a little bit of a jump, obviously with the extra 200 lumens. But I think the nicest thing was obviously they sort of worked a little bit on the 8K ESHIFT. So it really looks like now from a sharpness perspective, like it could be an 8K.
Is it still got the noise issue?
No, so the noise issue was taken away, where the NZ8 had sort of a winding noise when you activated it or when you enabled it, where this one doesn't have anymore. It's completely silent. Right. And with these, they, instead of having 3 fan levels within the projector, now they have 5. So even now, me running this at 66% laser, it is really, really quiet, which is really nice. And I'm still getting 90 nits on the screen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Incredible.
And I've seen this already, guys, and the picture is stunning. Yeah. And it's something that most people that like brightness will still appreciate how bright it is, but the ones that like deep contrast, the black levels are pure black. And we've seen that with demos like Passengers in the beginning.
Correct.
Where normally, like, I've got I've got a JVC at home, but upstairs I also have a Extreme Horizon Ultra, which is a great projector. It's only $3,500 Australian dollars, or about 1,500 US dollars. It is a fantastic projector, but where it does lack, where most DLP projectors lack, is in the black levels.
Yeah.
And it's just something that JVC have absolutely nailed with their DILA chips.
Yeah, and really with this unit now, there's no more wide corners. So obviously there was a lot of debate about JVC, you know, depending on the model which you get.
And the bright corners.
A bit of the bright corners. So they, I think now I would say they have pretty much resolved this issue with the new line of projectors, which is really good, obviously, because in darker scenes, if you don't use any laser dimming and the likes, then you could slightly see a product on. I mean, you have to look very closely, but with this unit, obviously, maybe I was a bit lucky. Pretty stoked about this unit. Obviously, as we know, JVC does an awesome job of providing further updates to units, so we'll see what's going to come next. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the tone mapping. Obviously, it's not on a Lumigen or Mad VR level, but it's obviously very good for a projector, like inbuilt tone mapping solution. Yeah, it gives us just an incredible image. And obviously, the ease of turning it on, quick start up and shut down is really nice. It's almost like turning on your TV in the living room, I guess. So
and the picture's up there and you can start watching.
I do enjoy that. And in my room, obviously here in Australia, you know, hot summers, it doesn't put out a lot of hot air.
Yep.
Because obviously it runs really quiet and got good cooling and the like. So it's really good.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Now, guys, what we'll do is we'll share some of the calibration numbers that we got during the calibration test. Now, the one thing that I really liked about JVC is just how easy it is to get the colours and the grayscale lined up without too much difficulty at all.
Correct. And I think this is where the AutoCal comes in. However, I must say, it's a dangerous field to play in if you don't know what you're doing, because you always have to confirm it with like an additional software afterwards to make sure that actually AutoCal didn't do any damage and actually improved the image, and then you just fine tune it with HDFR or with Calman and the likes. So it's very important. So it's not a one-stop solution, I would say, but it definitely helps to align things. And I must say, from the factory, these units come very well calibrated. So you need minor adjustments to get like a perfect grayscale, perfect colors. And obviously the out of black, for the contrast perspective, is really important to make sure. Yeah,
so guys, watch some demos and we'll show you. Obviously my camera can't capture what my eyes are seeing, but it'll give you an indication of just how good the image actually is.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So the NZ800, so you got 100,000 to 1 contrast, which I actually measured and I exceeded that, which is incredible. Mostly with those sort of projectors, you measure that in the high bright mode, which is a mode which you can't really use because it's really, like when you look at the image, it's usually way too green. But even like actually getting it calibrated to the D65, it was 103,000 to 1, so it meets specification, which is awesome. 2,700 lumens. I did measure that, and actually, again, with the high bright mode, it reaches that. With the calibrated mode, is a little bit less than that. It's about 2,300, which is still obviously very bright. What else do we have? We obviously have the new DLA chips inside. Black uniformity on the screen is exceptional. Certainly could be further improved, of course, but yeah, it's very, very good. A lot better than they used to be. And then they got the 65 all-glass lens, which I know some people used to have issues with because obviously glass assembly is tricky, but yeah, crisp from left to right, which is
so this one's all glass, whereas
lens.
the 500 and 700, they're going to be the plastic.
Yeah, glass elements and plastic, and less modules in the lenses. But they got a slightly bigger lens. They got a 80mm lens. So yeah, we'll see what the outcome is. The unit from a look perspective looks exactly like all the units looked in the past. About 23, 24 kilos, so big one. I do recommend highly to anyone who's got a JVC, put it on its feet. There's been some problem with hanging them upside down. I'm just gonna put it out there, so I'm a big fan to put it on its feet. Laser exceptional, quick turn off, shut down. I think it's about 20 seconds or 25 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So it's pretty good. 5 fan levels, which is exceptional now because it was a bit noisy when you went to like the highest one of the previous model. So this one is nice and quiet, so it obviously ramps up really nice. Obviously now you can adjust the laser level from 0 to 100, so you can really dial it into the perfect brightness which you want without compromising black levels, which is good. A lot of work has been done on the 8K ESHIFT, which is really good. is a bit aggressive at the moment, but I'm sure JVC will come out with an update to sort of lower that a little bit.
Well, I did notice the edge enhancement when we were looking. It was in passengers as well.
Correct.
On his face, on what's his name, Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt's face. It added some extra thickness to the line. So I think you got to use those. Even on Lumagen and Mad VR, you have to use those edge enhancements and all the other things with, use them quite sparingly. Because I mean, the JVC is such a sharp projector. You don't really need to add those things on too much.
And then obviously from a color perspective, can do the normal Rec 709 to 100%. Obviously, it actually exceeds that with the DCI color space. You can use the filter. However, the filter is costs you a lot of light. So I won't use it in my room. I truly don't recommend using it because the gain in actual colors is not that much.
But you'll notice a darker image.
Darker image, because I feel like you lose about 25 to 30%.
So you'd have to crank it maybe from 66 up to 100 just to get it, but then you've got the extra noise, the extra heat.
Exactly.
And
so I don't
better colours.
I don't see it. And really in a movie, there's, my God, maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds in a movie where you actually have a benefit of those colours. So I don't recommend it at this stage, most definitely. But exceptional unit. I think JVC, again, has done a tremendous job. These things are not cheap.
What's the retail on this in Australia?
$25,000.
Okay, so 25.
Which is a lot of money.
It's a lot. It's a car, basically.
It is a car.
I don't know what it is in US dollars, but I will put it on the screen.
I think it's about $16,000 as far as I understand.
Well, I will whack it on the screen. I'll do my homework. So it's generally available from dealers only in Australia. There isn't really at a retail shop that you could go in and just go and buy one. So you have to contact your local home theatre installer that supports JVC. But highly recommended. I've got the MP5. It's no NZ800, but it's pretty good in my small room.
100%.
Because it's closer to the screen, so I'd still get a lot of light output. I think from my perspective, just being in this room and seeing it, you just get it's hard to describe without physically seeing it with your own eyes, but you get that black level at almost pure black, but you've got brightness on the screen right next to it. And that's something that, like the likes of Sony and Epson and say even Barco using the DLP projectors will struggle to get that level. And I know people, I don't mean to detract on those other brands, but it's just a characteristic of JVC.
It is.
Which elevates it. They're not known as being the brightest projectors. I mean, you can get a Sony with a lot more brightness, and the colours on Sony are beautiful as well, but you can't get those inky black. If you want inky black, if that's your thing, I think JVC is definitely the way to go. I know Leo and I are very similar in that way. We obsess over contrast. People might think we're a bit crazy to do that, but we obsess over contrast and trying to get the most contrast at the expense of a bit of brightness even, because obviously the higher the brightness, the higher the black floor.
Of course, it's got to work in balance.
Can't have both. It's not an OLED TV where you can actually turn the pixels off and on. But JVC has done an incredible job.
Even with the NZ contrast on this, because that's sort of the in-picture contrast with white and black being on the screen at the same time. This unit measured at 405 to 1.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which was a significant step from like the NX7, it was about 280. Then from the NZ8, it was about 350, and this is over 400 now. So they've done some work in that regards as well, which is fantastic. And I think the burning questions for all the viewers out there is, should I upgrade? If I already got a JVC, let's say I have an MP5 or an NX8, it's a tricky one. Like obviously now having this, having this unit in my room and watching it daily, I see the benefits of it. Does the price point talk to that? I'm not sure. So I would say maybe hold your horses, wait a little bit. Great unit. However, let's see what comes next.
He's talking to me right now because I've got the MP5 and I was talking about upgrading to one of the new NZ700 possibly. I don't think I can get the 800, but I just bought a new car, so
maybe not for now.
Maybe not for now, and it's a nice car too. So I can't
maybe
really.
Can swap.
No. I still prefer my car, but I think as much as I want to go to laser, I mean, I get exposure to a lot of projectors, nothing to the level of the NZ800, but hopefully I can do a review on the NZ500, NZ700 just to see how it stacks up against something like this, because I know there's the NZ900, but I mean, this to me is as end game as you're going to get within that sort of mid-price budget before you start going into Barcos and Christie's and the the really high-end projectors, Sim 2, and obviously the high-end Sonys like the GTZ380.
Yeah.
This, I think, definitely punches above its weight, even for the price point, because the amount of contrast that you get is pretty much unrivaled. I don't know any other projector that can go that high. You know, so
yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think that about wraps up the review. Any last thoughts, Leo?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and hope that information helped you to make your next buying decision. But yeah, as always, calibration is key.
Yes.
I guess, especially once you spend that sort of money, so it's really important that you get those units dialed in and get the best out of them. But
and Leo's excellent at calibrating, so he can do it even remotely. If you have a sensor, he can do it via video conference. He can remote control the machine and basically have a look at all the outputs, and you basically be his hands and feet. And he charges a very reasonable price for that. Again, this isn't sponsored by Leo either. He's just a really good mate. I'm trying to help him out as well, and he likes doing it. He loves helping people as well. He often helps people all the way around the world to get the most out of their projectors. So I'll leave links to Leo's email down in the description. You can get in touch with him. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. And guys, check out Leo's room tour, because it is a really cool room. This is one of the best rooms I think I've ever been in. He has done an incredible job. The positional sound, he's got all Crick speakers, and it's just an amazing sound in this room, as well as with the picture. There's a lot of consistency between them. I will leave the link down in the description, but that's it for this one. You'll catch me in the next one.
Bye for now.